Okay, so this is a representation of my desktop, which looks similar to yours, but I have stuff on mine. When you're navigating on the computer, on a Macintosh computer, if you don't have any folders on your desktop, but you want one, which I'm going to have you do in just a minute, you hold the Command key down and the Shift key and hit the letter N, and a folder is supposed to pop up. There it goes. Notice how it says untitled folder?
Yes.
You don't have to delete those letters. As long as it's highlighted, you can just start typing. So I'm going to call this period 6. And then hit enter. So that's now a folder that I can dump stuff in. But I don't actually want it here on the desktop. Where I want it is in your documents folder. So instead of hitting Command Shift N, in order to get a new window, there's a couple of ways to do that. I can either double click on one of these folders and open it up, or I can hit Command N by itself and it'll open up a new window. Over here on the left-hand side are all of the things that are available to you. The only one you're really interested in is Documents. So I'm going to click on Documents, and it's going to show all the folders that I have in my document folder. Yours will be empty. So since I created a folder called period 6 on the desktop, I'm just going to click and drag it in here. And now that's where it resides. I'm going to click on here, and there's a couple of different views in the Macintosh. These little icons on top of the screen give you different views. So this one is just the icons. And they're not showing for some reason. There they are. Oh, I know why, because I had an empty folder. Okay, so in my period 6 folder, I'm just going to dump something in there so you know what it looks like. In this view right here, you see multiple windows. It shows you what's called the path. The path is the hierarchical folder structure. If you look on this poster on the wall over here, if you can see it, that shows how folders are nested inside of each other. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to save different projects and put all of the files associated with it in that folder. Okay, we're actually going to do that. Maybe not today, but we're going to actually do that. Okay? So the one we're working on today is called Merge. So inside my period 6 folder, I'm going to hit Command Shift N to create a new folder and call it Merge. Because what you're doing is you're going to merge a picture of an animal and a picture of a celebrity, or if you want to do yourself, you can do yourself too. And then all the files associated with that are going to go in here. Okay, so here's the different views now that I have a couple of files in there. The first one is icons only. The second one is a list, and it shows all of the details associated with the files. The third one you've already seen, it has the path. And the fourth one is sort of a combination. It shows you a preview of the file up here on the top. So those are different ways of looking at files. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to Google. I'm going to show you another keyboard shortcut, which is also available on the PC, but they do it slightly different. I'm holding the Command key down, and I'm tapping the Tab key. This shows all of the applications that I currently have open. This one right here is the one that's recording right now. This is the one that lets me see your computers and controls them. And then that's Google and Safari. I'm going to go to Google Drive or Google Chrome. Yes?
Can you see us like the camera?
No. So you can be goofing off and doing whatever you want to do right now, and as long as you're quiet, I won't know what's going on. Unless your arms are flailing in the air. Okay, so when you go to Google, click on Images. I'm going to type in animal portrait. When this comes up, and this is the most important part of this, when we're working in Photoshop, I'm making the assumption that we're going to print these at some point. We may or may not, but that's the assumption that I'm working under. So if you go under Search Tools, over here where it says Size, Go down to larger than, and select either 1024 by 768 or 2 megapixels, which is slightly larger. What that does is it gives you really large pictures. The mistake that a lot of people make on this, and I'll tell you at this point, is they think that they can copy this picture here to their computer and use that one, but it's going to be really tiny. Okay? So what you do is find a good one like, let's see, let me find a fun one. Ooh, how about this one? Okay, this shows you the dimensions, 3,840 pixels by 2,160. That would probably blow up to about this big and still be pretty clear. Probably 17 by 24 because of the amount of pixels and the clarity of the image. So I'm going to click on View Image. When it comes in, after you click View Image, it's not showing you the actual size of the picture. It's shrinking it to fit into the screen. If you notice there's a magnifying glass on there, when I click it, watch how big it gets. That's the actual size of that image. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the Control key down, and again, this is different than the Command key. So the Control key is right next to the space bar. It's 2 buttons away from the space bar. So I'm going to hold the Control key down and click on the image and say Save Image As. Since I've already saved a folder in my documents, I'm going to click on Documents, period 6, double click, and then Merge. And I'm going to save it in there. This is how you organize your files as you're working. So now I'm going to assume that that's a good one to use. And I'm going to go back to Google. And I'm going to type in celebrity portrait.
Isn't that Drake? Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so let's find a good one that would work with a fox. How about this one? Okay, and this image is 1920 by 1080. So I'm always going to click on View Image. Folks, quiet please. I'm going to click on View Image. Oh, denied. Let's try another one. How about... What I'm looking for, though, in an image is that, where the face is facing the camera. And is straight up and down, it's not tilted left or right, and the head isn't turned this way, left or right. So let's do this one. Oh, access denied. Has anyone seen the original Tron movie?
No.
Like from 1983? When the bad guy's trying to get away at the end of the movie, it keeps saying, access denied, access denied. See if I can log in.
Don't show us your password. Okay, you said you type it in.
Oh, still denied.
Then why does it say log in?
There are certain websites that are denied and will always be denied. So I just got to find a good picture like this one maybe. Yay, there's one. Okay, so again, I'm going to hit Control. Folks, quiet please. In the back, quiet please. I'm going to hit Control. Save Image As. And it remembers the last place I saved it in, so I can just hit Save. So I'm going to quit Chrome, because I don't need Chrome anymore now that I have 2 images. And you can see on the desktop, in the Documents folder, there's a period 6 folder, merge, and 2 files. So now I'm going to take these 2 files and open them in Photoshop. The way I did that was I held the Option key, or excuse me, the Control key down, selected both of them, and then clicked one of them, and it gave me that little dialog box. one of these images is actually larger than the other. So I can actually click on both and hit the command key and hold and then click I on the keyboard. And it's going to tell me, yeah, the letter I. It's going to tell me how big those files are. So the fox is a lot larger than Jennifer Lawrence. So when you're in Photoshop and you have more than one file open, there's tabs along the top of the screen. This one's Jennifer Lawrence and this is the fox. So since Jennifer Lawrence is smaller than the fox, I'm going to click on her image and select it and copy it. To select the entire image, I'm going to hold the command key down and hit the letter A. See how you get those little dotted lines? Then I'm going to copy it by holding the command key down and hitting the letter C. Then I'm going to click on this image. And to paste it, I hit command V as in Victor. And sometimes it doesn't work. So here's the way, without using the keyboard shortcut, here's the other way to do it. I have everything selected. I go in the Edit menu and hit Copy. Then I click over here, Edit menu, Paste. There it goes. Interesting. Okay, so the way that I can see both images, these are called layers over here. Layer 1 and the original layer, which is a background layer, which is the fox. Right up above there it says opacity. These little triangles that are pointed down are menus. So I'm going to click on this menu and slide this bar to the left. And you'll start seeing the fox show up beneath it. Okay, so now I'm going to select this tool right here on the very top of the toolbar. And now I can move her eyes so that her eyes are lined up with the fox's. Excuse me? Now the nose isn't lined up. So the way that I'm going to line up the nose is by holding the command key down and hitting the letter T. And in this case, the letter T stands for transform. With these handlebars, I can now stretch the picture so that the noses are lined up.
And the eyes are lined up.
And the eyes are lined up. You sort of have to go back and forth until it gets lined up correctly. The other thing that you definitely want to do when you do this is you want to hold the shift key down anytime you're sizing a picture. If I don't hold the shift key down, I can make her too skinny. Okay, so I have them sort of lined up. Whoops. Have them sort of lined up. Size-wise. Their features aren't really proportionate, but that's okay because I'm only using half of the face. Then to set that picture in place, I'm going to double click it. And then I'm going to go back over to opacity and change it back to 100. Okay, here's the tricky part. With layer 1 selected, I'm going to double click where it says layer 1. And I'm going to call this Jennifer. And then down here at the bottom of this palette is a little white box with a hole in it. That's called a mask. So I'm going to click on the mask. Notice how it added this little box on the side? When I erase from the picture now using the eraser tool, it's actually going to erase from the mask. Watch what happens over here when I let go of the mouse. See how it turned black? That means there's actually a hole that you're looking through. The reason I'm doing this and showing you how the mask tool works is because if I save this and come back a week later, if I erase the picture, it goes away and I have to go re-import it and re-line it up and size it and all that. Since it's on the mask, I just switch this white to black down here and erase again and it comes back. Because I'm working on the mask, not the picture. Okay, I'm going to end this right now, but I'm going to save it real quick. The file naming convention is always the name of the project, an underscore, and your first initial last name. So this one's called merge, underscore, and I'm going to call it JWING. And save.